Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to listen to us on NC Squared podcast. My name is Chance.
I'm Simon.
And this episode is going to pertain mainly to advertisements, the invasiveness to it, a little bit of conspiracies behind it, and a little bit of all that.
How they target you, that sort of thing. Not like targeted individual, but ad targeting.
Ad targeting, and then general just sale of your personal information legally. And then on top of that, just how a lot of information ends up being funneled, per se,
Right.
to not only your demographic or what they deem you are as a person in our profile.
What they've decided your demographic is.
Exactly.
But
a little bit of that. Starting off, what do you think's best for the first thing to kind of get
I
into?
would like to, just because we kind of have our phones out here.
Yeah.
We've just been browsing our phones, and the
course.
invasiveness of mobile advertisements, the invasiveness, and also on top of that, how bad a lot of them are.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them are just downright horrible, like poorly made, low production value.
Poorly made, low production value, and often miss the mark on actually what you're interested in somehow.
Sure, because sometimes you'll see an advertisement for some cheap game. A lot of times when you're playing a cheap game, specifically, probably ads from the people who made the cheap game you're playing. They want you to download their other cheap game.
Yep.
But they put so little effort into it. Like, it's the most basic of Flash animations, poor music, not even a good representation of the game, or even lying, a false representation.
That's the big one for me.
You were talking about that the other day. What game was that?
That was Arc of War on YouTube constantly. And it's mainly because I play a couple little app games. Arc of War, its advertisement, it would force me to sit through like a 15-second advertisement every time because I once had the game. I'm sure that's why it is.
Well, yeah.
I had the game once on my phone. The advertisement, the video was actually of a completely separate game called Dreadnought.
That's what you were saying.
Yeah, and they're using 100% stock footage advertisement for Dreadnought, but marketing it as their game. And I understand they might be overseas and it might be hard to get them for that copyright infringement, but
right.
How is YouTube okay with it? How are they not keeping up on their own?
This was an ad that YouTube was playing.
Yeah, how are they not keeping up and authenticating their own advertisers on the thing? I know they're getting money for it, but
right.
How is it that they don't go through a system of checks and finalization like we would have to if we create content on a channel?
Right, and you would think that with how lawsuit happy everybody seems to be,
oh yeah,
that would become an immediate issue.
It should. I mean, like I said, for me to create a YouTube channel, create a video, and then be demonetized because an advertiser didn't like my video title.
Right.
But then the advertiser can straight up 100% falsify what their game or their product is about. And YouTube's like, well, thanks for the money, guys.
YouTube will give false representation advertisements.
Yeah.
Right. But then you said that they recently stated they will no longer recommend specific conspiracy videos.
Oh, yeah. They
because
I was reading an article
they're false claims.
Yeah.
But they'll give you ads. They're false representation.
They're saying that they're spreading lies and stuff with the flat earthers and the 9/11 conspiracists. They will no longer recommend those channels, even if you do like conspiracy channels, kind of like ours or YouTube. I know there's a couple out there. So if you like those, they won't even recommend new videos to you because they don't believe in that agenda or that opinion, I guess is the best way. And our show's not about an agenda. We just talk about it because it's relevant or it's interesting to talk about.
Exactly. But we do have conspiracy in the title.
Yeah.
NC2 Conspiracy Podcast.
I mean, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about conspiracies.
Damning. It ruined us.
We're not sitting out here saying, hey, this happened and we've got to get up and do something.
Right.
We're just talking about the subject because it's interesting. And some of it was true. Over time, there's been proven conspiracies.
There has been. That's really big right now, though. Kind of the shutting down of conspiracies.
Yeah.
At the same time, conspiracies are also kind of taking off and becoming more of a public interest sort of thing, which is probably why it's happening.
Well, the big one is Alex Jones that you were talking about.
Exactly. Alex Jones going through all of that right now. There's a lot very harsh opinions in both directions.
Yeah, both
on
directions.
that.
And I
Understandably.
I honestly don't have a concrete opinion about it. I can understand both sides, but where I'm kind of confused about is just the verdict of the turnover of information to the families. I don't know
It'll
what
be interesting
information.
to see what happens.
Yeah, definitely don't want to get in on this episode because this is about advertisements.
It's about, yeah, we can get a little sidetracked here. But the reason it kind of leads me into that is because
We were advertised about it.
Advertised about it. Exactly. They told me about it. But conspiracies.
Yep.
Right.
It's getting.
They will no longer recommend them to you
Yeah, it's getting
in your
pretty dark.
recommended videos.
Even
which-
if you have a bunch of subscriptions to those, they will no longer advertise videos that may hold your interest.
Right. As most people know, recommendations, they're gathered by viewing, previous videos that you have watched.
Just your
Searches
search
you've watched.
history,
Yeah.
videos you've watched.
Exactly.
you
To
know.
recommend videos for you. If you watch, we were talking earlier,
Pretty much
when
any,
an advertiser sends me an ad for a new smartphone that comes out, I will oftentimes click on that
Yeah.
because I am interested in the tech specs of new technology.
Yeah.
You are too.
Yep. I stay
talk
up
about
with
it
most
sometimes.
of the common tech and stuff.
So I get recommended videos for new phones all the time. Not a problem.
See, that's odd because
don't have a problem.
I don't get them, even though I'm constantly doing it. They haven't put me down as like, hey, this guy is really interested in the new phones out there and stuff. I don't get it. But I probably click on them as much as you.
Yeah.
But it's trying to
And we'll talk
advertise.
about that later.
Yeah.
We're going to get into that. We're slowly getting there. The algorithm, though, like we were saying, we make conspiracy videos. We also watch a ton of conspiracy videos. We make a podcast. We don't make a video.
Come on.
But we were going to make a video. We actually wanted this to be a YouTube thing
Yeah.
rather than a
little bit of
podcast thing. And then at the last minute, we kind of diverted and we went podcast. I don't know what the appeal is. It's going to be fun, I guess.
yeah,
It just seemed like a good idea.
I think it was just the pre-production thing. We were just kind of thinking podcasts are nice. It's nice to be able to listen to something and not have to be eyes attached to the screen.
Different
kind of
audience.
thing. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's funny because we decided to do the podcast, not do the video. And then right as everything is starting to come together, and right around the time it's going to get released, suddenly YouTube, which was going to for sure be our main video host,
Oh yeah, for sure.
we would have had to change.
We would have had to either change our
Vimeo
title or
I don't know.
I don't know
I'm
what
not
we
a-
would have had to
who
do.
uses anything other than YouTube? Not many people.
Twitch, and that's mainly a gaming platform. I know they do other videos, but I mean,
Twitch, yeah, we could do like live stuff,
yeah.
that sort of thing. But if we would have done YouTube,
Oh god,
we would have that would have been shooting ourselves in the foot right off the bat. We didn't know about it.
pretty much instantly we would have probably been starting off
That
in
would
a
have
bad
been
direction.
That would have been a rough start.
Like, oh, okay, well
Right
now
off the
we're a
bat.
brand new channel about this cool subject we always find fun and to talk about and stay out of the
And then
box
other
with.
people, a subject other people enjoy too,
Yeah, and
and probably want to find more of.
then the main platform we were going to use is saying, oh well, we don't really approve of your particular channel.
Right. Yeah.
That's what it would have came.
It feels
down
like
to.
you're being singled out.
Yeah,
And
it really does.
It's
That's
because
the
I
thing.
have the Alexa upstairs.
Oh god, yeah.
Heard us talking about it.
My Bixby on my phone. Like,
Yeah, I've got the Google Assistant, and I'm pretty guilty of using it. I used to think it was really dumb. I buy into that crap too.
I still
I
don't.
use the Google Assistant.
I still don't have any in my home because I just don't trust them. Like, it's not like I'm a big paranoia guy, but like, they are always listening. They can say,
Yeah, I know, and I'm a paranoid person. I can admit that, and I recognize that it is probably listening and gathering information. If you just read the terms of service, generally there's something in
It's
there that
pretty
tells
much-
you it at least listens
Yeah.
sometimes.
It's pretty much telling you we're going to take everything you say, we're going to find keywords, and then we're going to advertise things to you.
Right. Exactly. And I'm a sucker for it, unfortunately. I use it just for the radio. It's nice to be able to tell it to tune into a radio station when I'm doing the dishes or something. Like the only time I was into the radio.
That's where like
But
we're going though.
the
With
convenience is nice, but at the cost of it's probably listening.
cost of privacy. That's
Cost
what
of
it is.
privacy. Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
right.
the convenience has almost outweighed the privacy matter, and that's where companies are kind of like really breaking into the new ground. I mean, it's not really new ground; it's been going on for a while, but this is with the the last few years of release of Alexa, Google Home assistants like Bixby, and
Everybody's got one.
you almost don't have a choice on your phones anymore. There's always one or more types of listening devices that will purposely be there for convenience.
Convenience.
But
Yeah,
it's really
right.
like on top of that convenience, you're also giving up the fact that you will never have a private conversation again without it specifically finding keywords to say, okay, you're interested in this or you don't like this.
Yeah.
And you can't tell me that they can't tell the inflection of your voice.
Yeah. No,
Right.
absolutely. I mean, it can. What is mine? Mine is if I say "Okay, Google," and I have that part disabled. I have it so you have to hold down the home button, but it will respond to that and it will start listening. So it can, it can understand you
Yeah.
to some extent.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like Bixby, I had to go in there
Google
and turn
Translate
everything off, and it
Is
still
incredible.
listens.
You can speak a language to Google Translate, and it will tell you the equivalent in another language.
Yep.
So it can understand you if it wants to.
I love convenience as much as the next person. But
I do too. I'm a tech guy. I love having the newest phones and all that. I know it's probably, again, I'm a sucker. I buy into that stuff. But I like it. I like having new phones. I like it to be quick. I like my emails to be easy. I try and stay off social media for the most part, but I use it a little bit and it's nice when it works.
That's
So,
understandable too, because like I
almost have
for
to.
years I had a Facebook page, never used it, and then we started this podcast, and now I'm like on Facebook all the time.
Yeah.
Trying to talk to people.
And again, I have like the page for my music. We have the page for the podcast, right? So I try and use it for that only. I don't really like commenting on people's posts on Facebook and that sort of thing. I'm just not really big on it. Dog pictures. That's the majority of it.
You've been profiled as a dog.
I have been profiled as a dog person.
Yeah.
The person for dog
It's funny
advertisements.
because you
I
don't
get
own a dog
advertisements.
at all.
I don't, but I get dog advertisements, so that's pretty funny. They listening. But like you said, it's a convenience thing. I kind of buy into that. Try to use Facebook only really for the page. Just because social media, that's another way that they can gather information.
Or you have to fill out a
give you
profile.
ads.
You have to give them. You have to give them
asks-
contact information
It asks
for
for quite
yourself.
a bit of info.
Yeah.
I believe age is required.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Because you need to be a specific age to have a Facebook, technically.
Yeah.
People
It's been a
don't
long time
abide
since
by
I
that.
set up an account, but yeah.
Yeah, my account's really old because, again, I just don't use it.
Well, I think you were the one that set up our NC Squared Facebook.
I did. I set up the Facebook page.
Pretty extensive information you had to put in there.
It is pretty extensive. You can't have a Facebook page without having a user profile attached to it. That's at least
That's
not that I can figure out. Maybe you can.
I mean, there might be like small little get around kind of things.
Sure, but either way. So immediately the page, we do get ads sometimes when I'm scrolling on our page feed, which is
I
really
haven't seen an ad yet.
I don't know why that is because it's a group. I believe I did a group.
I might have to give it a closer look.
There's
I
a
tend
couple
to just
different kind of
skip
page
most ads,
types
so.
you can do. And I did it's like a community type. And so it sets it up more like a group where you scroll through and see posts only from people because we're trying to like do a community thing.
Yeah.
Right. But then it throws advertisements in there. And for me, at least, it is based on the advertisements, like the info that it's gotten from me just scrolling Facebook normally.
Ah, okay.
You know what I mean?
So basically, it's gathering from your other profile.
And for other people, it's probably the same, but I think it's funny because I created the page. I am the admin. You are co-admin.
Yep.
But if I scroll through it, I get ads on my own page. And it's a bummer that people who are scrolling through trying to see posts from us or posts from other people who listen to it, they get advertisements. And we're talking about that right now,
Yeah, very much. I mean,
which is pretty funny.
we've got a few things we want to go over with you guys. We're kind of, just talking right now, but we've got Facebook and Google, some big things we want to talk with you about, show you a little bit of information on them.
Right. Take
We're
another
just
drink.
getting some stuff figured out and set up, and we'll walk you through how to look at not only what Google keeps track of on your phones, but also
Facebook.
what Facebook keeps track of for you.
Google's kind
well.
of a big one.
Yeah.
We'll do Facebook here in a little bit.
Those are the big ones we keep kind of talking about. There's other advertisers out there that like go out of their way to purchase your information. They purchase thousands
that
and
is true.
thousands of people's informations from companies that just sell them for, I think, pennies on the dollar is what I've heard.
I have no idea. I don't know. Like, what is that worth?
I mean, if they get
That's
a
gotta be
sale
a gray
out of it.
area. I'm sure you probably.
Oh, it's in the terms.
You could go
of
into the
agreement.
laws.
Yeah.
Around that.
And that's
but
the problem is
that's
there's not a
what
lot
we
of
do.
laws. I heard Europe's getting pretty aggressive with their advertisement and their privacy laws. Like,
Really?
but we're like behind the times a little bit, just like we're behind the times on the internet. How there's
Sure.
actually like the whole situation where there's laws in place to provide a specific quality of internet in Europe versus the U.S. has like no real actual law requiring
Sure.
anything practically.
And like, it's funny, we've been kind of conditioned for it.
Yeah.
We've had ads forever. I mean, like pretty much anybody who's listening to this has pretty much experienced ads in any form of media that they partook in
Heck,
or had interest in.
just getting to our podcast, like
You
going
passed
through
a couple ads,
at least,
and
a
we're
couple.
not anti-ad.
No,
ads
advertisements have their place,
place.
for
They're
sure.
being overused. I feel like they're underthought.
It's like a
anymore.
Yeah,
It
it's
seems
like a
very
shotgun
blatant.
blast. It's almost like scammers, like the
Spammers.
phone scammers, email scammers. That's what an ad feels like now.
That is what it
lowest
feels like.
production value to hook the most amount of people who won't put any thought into it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's what it is. Like,
I'm interested to get into that. We
I don't wanna say-
run really cheap ads.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fun because I like seeing the turnout. Recently, Facebook did that thing where it was like, hey, we'll run this free ad for you. So what was it? Like get messages or something like that?
Yeah, basically it was going to send it to anywhere between 2,000 and 19,000 people.
A day.
Yeah, like supposedly.
For like 10 days it was.
Yeah, and it was just to get our name out there, get people to click on us and say, hey, it's something I'm interested in. Let's listen to these guys.
Right. And did you see the video? Did you even see the ad?
Oh, yeah.
They made the dumb little video
Yeah,
for
you
it.
showed me that. That was...
It's funny. I thought it was funny. It was a good recommendation. I took them up on that recommendation.
Yeah.
Got suckered into it.
yeah.
But we ran the ad,
They advertised to you to advertise your page.
and I did. But we didn't get... And I'm happy with that. Like, it was a good advertisement. Well placed, Facebook. Well placed.
Touche.
But we did it. Didn't deliver nearly as much as it claimed it was going to.
What was it, 7 days, 2,000 people reached?
No, it was 10 days, and it was supposed to be like at least, I think it was like at least 1,200 a day. Maybe it was 2,000. But it was over 1,000 people a day was what it said it was going to reach with the demographic that I selected,
Yeah.
which I think was 14-year-olds all the way up to 50. I think I did 14 to 50.
Yeah. Understand.
Kind of random numbers, but I mean,
it's a
I kept
wide
it
variety.
pretty broad, you know?
Yeah.
I think the age limit for Facebook is like 13. Maybe it's older than that.
Maybe.
It might be, but I wanted to make sure anybody out there who wanted it could get it. Mm-hmm. And it was to get people to send us messages. We got 3.
Was it 3? Oh, yeah, we did get 3.
We got 3. One of them was somebody
just wanted to know what it was about.
Yeah.
And then another one who just wanted to know what we were about. That's awesome. We loved it. We responded as quick as possible.
We did respond almost frighteningly fast.
Yeah, it was like within minutes.
They might have had interest in the podcast until they saw how quick we responded.
They're like, oh, God.
And they were like, these people,
Yeah.
they got too much time.
But the third one, that was the interesting.
Yeah, so we are making an episode talking about advertisements. We ran an advertisement
To advertise for
to
us.
advertise for this video, kind of
Yeah.
about advertisements. And then a lady sends me an advertisement for her Fiverr gig
To advertise us.
to advertise us. Oh my gosh.
It was this big circle of we got advertised to advertise ourselves. And then someone then wanted us to pay them to advertise us again.
Again, anti-advertisement. It happens. We talked to that lady. We talked back and forth.
It was a couple messages back and forth
How
just
did
to
it-
kind of get some info.
How did it end up going? I could bring it up here. That's not worth it. But she didn't really have any numbers to back up her claims.
That's what made me go, eh.
But again, I'm a nice guy.
Yeah.
I will customer service someone.
He's
to
a
death.
lot nicer than me. I would have probably handled the conversation 100%.
It would have been
different.
over way quicker. I'm more personal relations
Yeah.
guy for the team here.
I'm okay with that. to be
That's fine.
honest.
I'm good at that. But so I was talking to her. She wanted to advertise us.
Yep.
She said she was going to make us popular.
Yep.
There was a whole big spiel. Maybe I will bring it up.
Yeah, bring
here.
it up because some reference.
I'll see if
would
I
be
can
awesome.
find it.
It should.
And
be.
again, not calling her out. She sent me an ad and we talked about it and I considered it.
I mean,
And, hey,
if it's legit,
might
it's
still
legit.
use it one day.
Yeah.
You don't know. I'm going to bring it up.
It's one of those things where like you gotta kind of be careful about who you gotta deal with, because that could have easily been a scam where they just gathered your information.
It might be. I'm not going to give out any names here or anything. I'm not even going to give the name of their Fiverr gig because, again, I'm not hating on this. I don't think it was wrong what she did.
No.
She had a conversation with me.
Yeah, she didn't just
Which
give you a
is way
spiel and then
more
ignore
than
you.
I can ask from most advertisements.
Exactly.
You always see the thing pop up when you go to some popular website. I'm your assistant.
Oh God, I see those all the time.
Claims to be real. Some generic picture of some generic dude.
Or lady.
Looks like it came from like, I don't know,
They're like,
Shutterstock
just
or
ask
something.
me a question, and then like you're like, I wonder.
I've never done it. I've talked to people on the Comcast, the internet
Yeah,
provider. I've like talked to their experts or something, and I know sometimes they're fake. They'll send me the same message 3 times in a row.
Okay, I have to tell you just a small story about my
Bring it on.
Comcast one, just while he's bringing this Facebook up. So I was getting some tech support because I hooked up my box. I know how to hook up a box. I'm okay with that.
That's good.
Set it up. Everything was going well, but it kept like having issues actually like providing channels. Kept doing it. Contacted the X1 Xfinity help thing. Had this long conversation where he reset the box. He did these things. Then he said the box was bad. And I was like, okay, super respectful. I give him 100% props on that. Like, he was a nice guy. At the end of it, and I don't know why. To this day, I think it's because he gathers, like, through my actual Wi-Fi box, he could see something. But at the end of the conversation, he goes, well, have a great day. Gotta catch them all. Go get those Pokemon.
What?
I was like, yeah,
Really?
thanks, man. Like,
Must have been a real dude.
I was so speechless. I couldn't even type an actual, like, what was that?
He like,
He
well,
was
he knew
like,
you play Pokemon Go.
he either knew I played Pokemon Go or he knew it was a big thing. Or,
But
like,
it was a big thing.
but
So.
this is like a year ago. So Pokemon Go is still big, but it's not the big it was like a few years ago.
Not around here, at least.
Exactly.
Some places it's still
maybe
growing,
some
I think.
places, but like,
Yeah, I
it
get
was
what you're
just such a weird sign off from my tech support guy.
That's hilarious.
That he was like,
Hey, that's cool. That means an actual person was talking.
I know.
Right on.
I was just like, was it a computer or that was generated to say something random like that? Or it's
Right.
hard to tell these days, like because
is.
some of them are
It really
getting
is.
so good.
You know, we could do a whole episode on Comcast alone.
Yeah.
Not even necessarily just wireless providers, but like just internet providers, Comcast.
We will. How about that?
We probably
We'll talk
will.
about the conspiracy about how they set up the regions.
And again,
which that'll be later.
We're not gonna like try and go out and damn a company or something like that.
Oh yeah. Like whenever we
But
name drop companies or something,
Our
it's to
personal
give you
experience.
Yeah, it's just to give you a reference of
Yeah.
what we're talking about. We're not gonna sit here and say this unknown company. Like I'm gonna tell you, it was Facebook.
Yeah, it was Facebook. I mean,
Like not sponsored by.
we
by
all
the way.
know. It's not like a secret anymore. People are getting more into the conspiracy thing, and chances are a lot of people have looked into this sort of stuff on their own
Oh yeah.
and are thinking the same things. But got way sidetracked there. We're gonna,
It was a good story though.
We're
It
gonna
was-
come
it was-
back to the lady who gave us the Fiverr ad. So she was. I'm gonna sum it up here. I'm not gonna read it because she actually sent me long messages. The first one I just figured was a copy paste because we're talking like 2 paragraphs long. So I figured she just spammed it to people. But then she continued to send me paragraph to 2 paragraph messages.
Consistency.
So I'm like, hey, this person's putting effort into this. Basically, they said that they would get us to the top 10 USA rankings, basically in any country
yeah.
that is big on podcasts on iTunes.
Yeah, I think it was Australia, U.S., Europe. They were like,
Right.
Around
And
the world.
We've mentioned before here in these early episodes, we're trying to get on the new and noteworthy list. Mm-hmm. Right. So this is, again, a well-placed ad.
yeah, they
She
know
saw
what we
Our
want.
page is called a podcast page. That's probably why she sent us a message. But it's going good. So, and obviously, if she can do that, I'm into that.
Yeah,
Right on.
yeah.
So send her a message asking for some numbers, you know?
Yeah.
Like, prove to me that you've done this.
That
And I'm
you've done
totally
it?
willing to pay
Yeah.
you for good advertisement. I want to make sure that you're not spamming people like we were talking about, or just going off of some email list.
Or just a bot that's just telling you what you want to hear.
Right. But I've seen some people on Fiverr before that like they have a blog or something like that where they talk about podcasts. And they're like, hey, $5, I'm going to give one of your podcasts a listen and I'm going to write an article about it. They write articles for a living anyhow. They're making a little extra money.
Yep.
That makes sense.
That'd be fun. If
I don't
anyone
think
out there,
there's nothing wrong with that. That's awesome.
If anyone's into blogging or vlogging, and wants to talk about us, just shoot us a message and we'll get back with you and we'll give you a little bit more details on everything.
And that's a little different because they can't claim they're going to get you to the top 10 or something like that. They're just claiming they're going to write an honest review. It's not going to be like you're not paying them to write a good review.
Yeah.
You're basically paying them for their opinion that they're going to voice to a fan base they already have.
Yeah, and I like that. I like that a little bit more than just
That's
random
a good model.
or a random advertising.
That dude is already making money doing something, and he's getting himself more content by reaching out to people, and people are willing to pay for that.
Hey, it's good to be your own boss.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Everyone wants to be their own boss. Come on. That's what everybody wants.
Yeah.
But eventually she ended up not really being able to get me any numbers. She said that for the $5, which is the standard rate for a gig on Fiverr, that gave me 2 days of promotion. She didn't tell me what promotion means, really.
Yeah.
For 7 days, it was $50, and for 30 days, it was $200. And so I'm thinking to myself, $200 is a lot of money, for 30 days of advertisement.
Yep.
And she also hasn't told me how much money would it actually cost to get on the new and noteworthy list.
Yeah. That was the big one that we were kind of like...
That's when the shocker came. She sent me a link to her Fiverr. We went to it. We're kind of reading that. Seems legit. Seems to know what's going on.
Good advertising.
Asked her how many people would be seeing our content, that sort of thing. She said monthly 10,000 people a month.
If we bought the monthly package.
If we bought the monthly package. Exactly. So, hey, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem unfathomable, though. Like, it's like you could...
Could happen, could not. Either way.
If you're saying 10,000, like, impressions or views on Facebook, that's just everybody that scrolls past it.
That was where...
And for $200, I'm assuming someone would be able to pull that off. You know what I'm saying?
And that's where you asked her, like, what kind of download numbers could you get
because that's what I was concerned with.
Yeah.
I was asking her, like, what kind of download numbers we could have.
10,000 downloads.
10,000 per month.
Yeah.
For $200. At that rate, just
Why isn't
to
everyone doing
clear
this?
something up from people, from what I'm understanding, you could run a cheap ad reel from the right source in a podcast and pay her $200 and get 10,000 downloads, and it would pay for itself, and you would get 10,000 downloads.
Yep. I mean, I don't...
So in my head, still, I mean, obviously, I'm not messing with her. I am texting her because I'm genuinely curious about this.
Yeah, because if it's
It's
something...
relevant. It's kind of what we've been talking about.
Exactly. And if it's something legit, I think that's the important thing, is a lot of people don't look past the surface on these advertisements.
Yeah.
And you tend to get taken for a ride.
Yeah, sure.
But you ask the right questions, and those answers don't seem to match up or make sense.
Right.
Maybe you should
It's
step
easy
back.
to it's easy to just scroll past an ad.
Yes.
This one in my inbox. Okay. I'll click on it. These are real messages. This is a person sending me messages somewhere. So I'm willing to look into it, willing to give them a chance.
Yeah.
You never know if someone's got something good up their sleeve.
True.
I wasn't doing anything else.
We'll see if we get 10,000 downloads.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I know. Hey, maybe we should give it a try and just see what happens. But again, I'm worried about the spamming.
It's going to be a prepaid card, by the way.
I did ask her. I asked her how much it would cost. Did she think to get on the iTunes new and noteworthy list? Because according to her, she has a good grasp on how this social media thing works.
She's saying she's a self-applied expert on it.
Yeah, I believe that's what her profile said. Actually,
That's funny. I didn't even read her profile.
I believe that it is. But so I asked her how much that would cost. She gave me a solid number here. She said if I gave her $3,000, then I can go in the new and noteworthy list on the iTunes store. I'm not good at math, right?
Yeah.
You know this. I know this. But the monthly rate was $200.
Yeah.
$3,000.
Wait. The new and noteworthy is for 8 weeks, Right.
The new and noteworthy is for 8 weeks, so 2 months. So
doing the math,
it doesn't. It's $200.
It went from $400 to $3,000. I guarantee you'll be on the new and noteworthy.
Exactly. That's over a year.
Yeah.
Quick math here. I got a calculator. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he's got a calculator.
15 months, year and a quarter.
That's assuming that's the monthly rate, $3,000.
Well, no, that's $3,000 is what it costs to get on the new and noteworthy list. But she said it costs $200 a month. Right? That gives 15 months.
See, that's the other question. Is the $3,000
Is she giving me a special rate?
Yeah. Is the $3,000 covering 15 months of advertising and we're getting on new and noteworthy? Or is it just to get on new and noteworthy and then she's going to cut the leash off
Right.
of that?
And also the new and noteworthy list, I don't believe it quite works just off of download numbers.
No, I'm almost
pretty sure
positive
they have
it
a way to
doesn't.
track that. She told me she was running off of an email list eventually, so at that point I knew it was a big spamming thing. You send something to people's emails, and we don't support that here. So,
No.
so we didn't. I think it's wrong. So,
I like my privacy.
So yeah, exactly. So we didn't do that. So the conversation kind of fizzled out from there. I told her we'd keep her in mind. I'm still, I'm just
keeping her in
not
mind.
sold yet.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
not
keeping
sold
her
yet.
in mind. That's
If she comes back with some numbers for me, if she's out there,
if she can
listening,
provide another channel's proof and statistics, saying, "Hey, I did this."
Anything.
This channel can verify.
I tried hard. Again, we don't have a big budget here, but like, I don't know.
True.
I'm interested in advertisement. I'd put some of my own money into advertisement just to see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, we already did. We already did.
We already did.
$10 into
Put a couple more in.
Yeah.
If you guys have any recommendations of spammy ads you see running,
Oh yeah, please.
we'll give them a try to see what happens.
Yeah.
That would actually be really fun.
I think we could make an entire episode just.
We're fairly creative.
results.
We could make some little videos or something that would be just really bad.
Speaking of creative, Mr. Simon Taylor here. He's the one that made our logo, and I think it's badass.
Thank you. Made the logo. Hope you guys like it. We put that on some stickers.
Yep.
Been sending them to people. We've actually been hand delivering some
Yeah.
of them.
This isn't in the mail 2 weeks from now. We've
No.
hand delivered
Priority.
to a lot of people. So far.
Priority.
Yeah.
We're bringing it.
That's as priority as you
Hopefully-
can get driving them to people's house. No,
I want to do the coffee cup thing too. I want to get like 10 coffee cups and just send them to people. I'm hooked. I drink coffee.
I like the mouse pad because it just
the mouse
inspires
pad's
me when
good. We just came up.
when I'm just playing around on my computer. I just seeing our logo.
Yeah.
I just
I get. We've
just
said it
super
before.
motivated.
Seeing your own logo on a sticker, priceless. Back to the subject matter. here.
Yeah, let's stop fluffing our.
We're not
feathers
going to
here.
get out of Facebook just yet. Facebook's really big. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. I stumbled across something the other day when I was just browsing Facebook, actually.
Yeah.
Again, I'm a sucker. I browse Facebook. I get spammed with ads all the time.
And he gives
I'd-
me the information.
I'd never seen this before. I'm sure everybody who's listening to this remembers the big lawsuits recently involving Mark Zuckerberg. Mm-hmm. Everybody's seen the memes. There was...
That guy, I don't know.
there was a lot of memes.
Yeah.
Did you watch those videos?
I've seen a few.
Some of them
here
are
and there.
hilarious.
Oh my God,
We should share some of those.
I
think it can make other
if
people
I
laugh, and that's
spend all
important.
day watching memes, I don't
It's this
accomplish
meme
anything.
hole. You get stuck in this
exactly.
meme hole.
Next thing I know, it's 3 years later,
just
and
spinning
I'm
around.
just still.
But we're gonna tell you how to go to Facebook. That's how we're gonna start. Open up your Facebook app. Go to your home screen. I'm gonna show you how you can delve into what Facebook thinks it actually knows about you. If you're on your home page, people got icons at the top, sometimes at the bottom. Click on your news feed, little newspaper button. You go to the drop-down menu, and you scroll down to settings. Forgive me for my pauses here. I'm doing it as I speak. Scroll all the way down. You should have another drop-down called Settings and Privacy. Go ahead and hit that. Opens up. Beneath Settings and Privacy, hit Settings again. The settings within the settings, apparently.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is a pretty big page. You scroll down here a little bit. Back past privacy. There's an ads section. Just says ads, ad preferences. Go ahead and click on that. I like how it doesn't even look like a button.
Nope. It looks like it's just like there.
And this is one of the most interesting things I have found on Facebook in a long time. maybe everybody already knows about it, but I've shown a couple people and they didn't know about it.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people do.
If there's anybody out there that doesn't know about this, I'm glad they're probably already on this page and they're looking if they're following along here and they're kind of getting an idea of where this is going. But we'll start at the top section here and we'll just work our way down. Your interests, again, doesn't even really look like much of a button you can click on. You can click on discover and add interests, but just click on the little heart there.
And for the people who are a little tougher in technology, you literally just, your interest, you hit that. It doesn't look like a button like he said, so it's just you click on it.
They don't want you to click on it.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a button, doesn't look like it does anything.
I don't know if this maybe like came from the whole lawsuit that was going on.
I think it did.
Again, I don't really, that stuff is the snooze for me. I read the articles later. But it starts showing you a lot of interests that it has saved for you here. Some of them you probably think don't apply to you. Some of them you've probably never even seen ads for. But then there's some in there that they're definitely
specific.
I went in, I shouldn't have done it, but I went in and I deleted a lot of mine.
Yeah.
Anyhow, if you just scroll through that page, for me, I got a couple here. I got dogs. I look at a lot of dog pictures. I love dogs. We look at dogs on Facebook. Beer. I don't really click on beer posts, but I drink. I talk about beer.
Yeah.
Everybody's always listening.
And we would like to have a
The
beer
Google
during
Assistant's
the show,
listening.
So.
Exactly. Coffee, Netflix. These are things that apply to me. See some other ones. NFL football.
Yeah.
I guarantee you everyone has that.
I deleted it.
You do.
I don't watch football.
I don't
apologize to people who love football. I'm just not a football guy.
Apologize to them. We don't need to apologize to you.
I understand though.
You don't need to
people get
apologize
into
to
it
us either, but mine's got NFL. I guarantee you, I have never clicked on a link that is an ad having anything to do with NFL. No. I've never clicked on the link. I have never watched a video unless it gave it to me against my own will. Yep. And that happens. I'll scroll past it sometimes because you can only scroll one direction on your Facebook feed.
Yeah.
If they want you to see an ad and you want to continue scrolling Facebook, you're going to see it.
And see, from what we've learned, we've done a little research on this. Everything that's in here on your interest is based on what you have clicked on, or
exactly. Yep.
Not the really not scary part, but interesting part is if you've looked at an ad for longer than like 3 or 5 seconds or something.
I've seen that before.
Yeah, if it's on your feed and you stop on an ad but don't actually click on it, it still registers it as it interested you.
Yeah.
You looked at it long enough for it to be considered an interest.
Some social media sites call it impressions. There's different lingo for it. And again, we're not experts on the subject. We might be using all the wrong words, and that's okay.
Oh, I never use the wrong words.
But again, back to the... He knows what he's talking about. Back to the NFL things. I never talk about it.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard me bring up football? But
not even together when we're talking.
You know why I get them, though?
Because you're a young male.
I am. I'm a young man. I'm a 23-year-old male.
They decided that was obviously an interest of yours.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. I have lots of friends on Facebook as well that do. Not going to say any names, of course, but we're friends of some of the same people. I'm sure you can think of a couple of them.
I can think of 3.5 right off the top of my head.
So and anytime I actually see something from NFL in my feed, it's because one of those people have liked it, shared it, commented on it.
Yep.
That's why I'm seeing it.
Yeah, honestly, like it's pretty scary, the information.
Targeted.
Yeah.
It's targeted. Again, you agree that you have to give Facebook your age. There's an age requirement. I'm not sure what it is, but there's an age requirement. So you have to.
I'm too old to care.
I don't know. It doesn't apply to me. Exactly. So you need to give it your age. It asks for your location. Everyone's had location targeted ads. Yep. I get ads. The beer one. I get ads for local breweries. Yeah, sometimes.
That's understandable.
And again, I'm not too upset about that. These are local breweries running ads in a similar way that we are.
There's some convenience to them.
There's some convenience. I love good ciders. It shows me good ciders. I've went out and bought them.
Fair enough. I always feel like maybe I'm so false with all the information I put online that like all
of your information is false.
Oh yeah, like on several occasions when it asks very personal like information and it's on a website or I'm logging into something that I don't care about and it wants to know my first name, last name, I will like give it the most random bowl because
Yeah,
I
sure.
know I'm only using it once or twice.
Hey,
or
that's
maybe
your
three
right,
times.
man. It lets you do that.
But it
I think it
finds
makes,
ways
I think
to
it makes you, for the record, we did not do that for any of the podcast related social media websites and or hosting sites. All the information we gave you was true, and hopefully you don't share that with people.
Disclaimer.
But they probably do. So anyhow, back to what we're doing here. There's a bunch of things in here. You can click the little drop down arrow on those and you can view.
They've probably moved past, by
Go
the way.
click-
They're already like clicking on everything.
click on one of the little dots. We'll go to your interests again.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, go up there. Click on the little triple dot at the bottom of one of those. You can now you can get a feed that's only advertisements about that interest.
Oh.
Why would I want to do that?
I don't know.
Why would you want to do that? Why would anybody
I
want
mean,
to do
if you
that?
really liked food and wanted to see only food advertisements, which apparently they think I do.
Yeah, I have food too. Probably because, I don't know, sometimes I watch a food video.
I don't know. I need it to survive.
Dude, everybody, yeah, that's relevant. I think everybody watches a couple food videos every now and then. Come on.
All right.
Back
There-
in the day, Epic Mealtime and stuff. That was good stuff.
Gordon Ramsay. Who didn't watch?
Gordon Ramsay's big in the media right now, absolutely. But these are only a couple of them, actually. These are your top interests. If you go up to the top left, there's a drop-down arrow. We're both on Android operating system here as well, because Apple is a beast.
It should work the same
Apple's
for...
a beast for another day, but it's probably about the same.
I mean, it's through the Facebook app. I'm pretty sure that's fairly similar.
Right. If you hit that drop-down arrow there,
Oh my God. News and entertainment's 27 different things.
like some of the ones in my top 20, I remember I clicked on it. I didn't realize there was more. Just the top 10, the top 20 was kind of frightening for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm looking now and
There's a lot.
I want to delete a lot. Is what I
Let me
want.
see what I.
Some of the
let me see what
stuff
I got here. I'm gonna try and find one that.
tasty.
Yeah, food.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
no,
thought
I
tasty
think-
off of.
I think they're an internet-
Orange is the New Black.
Oh,
I was like, all right.
if it's what you're interested in.
I watched it. I loved it.
Let me. Family and relationships. I went to this one the other day, and there's a reason I clicked on it. I get ads for baby stuff.
Oh yeah, you were.
And
telling me
again,
that.
I'm a 23-year-old male. I know a lot of people around my age that have babies.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how it is.
that's how the world is.
Call it good, call it bad. You know, it's your decision. Some people got babies. So I'm sure there's a reason it's giving that to me. I've got engagement rings in here. I'm engaged.
Ah.
Wedding rings, groom. I'm engaged. I'm going to have a wedding one day.
You are a groom.
I told Facebook I was engaged 'cause I wanted to tell everybody, obviously.
That's how I got it there.
Love, that's pretty generic. I already deleted it. If you click that little drop down, you can delete it, but I had babies in here. Was one of my interests. I told you I always get ads for babies. I hate seeing baby ads. It's nothing against babies, but they don't apply to me. I'm not trying to have a baby right now. Get off my back. I
get it. I get
getting
it.
pressured. So I clicked on that and I deleted it, and sure enough, I do not get baby advertisements anymore. So there is some light to this.
There is.
It's not just
There is a
random.
silver lining.
There is a reason it has these interests in here, whether it be your age or your friends. There's a reason. I understand that it was giving me baby ads, and I understand why. My fiance gets them too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she deleted it too. Now we don't get baby ads anymore. So that's pretty awesome for me. That's a personal achievement. You got any good ones in there?
I've got some. We're not going to talk about the advertisements. They want to try to get me. We're just going to leave food.
We're not trying to get
and,
anybody in trouble here.
Food, technology, anime, movies.
The basics.
Anime movies specifically.
I have anime in mind. I do watch a lot. I used to have a Crunchyroll account, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So of course it gives me anime advertisements. A lot of people watch anime. If you go back though, that kind of brings us into the next thing. I had a Crunchyroll account. Go back to the very first ad preferences screen. Scroll down past your interests. You get a couple more drop downs here.
I didn't have to scroll, by the way.
I did.
I can see that.
Yeah. So we click on advertisers here. Little purple icon on my phone. advertisers whose ads I clicked, and these are generally on point. These don't lie to me. I have clicked on Amazon and Guitar Center. I'm a guitarist. I click on that. I clicked on the Portal. We could do an episode on the Portal.
Oh.
Then it would be a rant. Have you seen it?
I have not.
The Facebook Portal?
No, I haven't seen it.
I might have, maybe I didn't show you, but I was talking about it. Basically, it's a giant screen that you put up in your house, and it's got a really nice camera on it, and it watches you walk around, so you can Facebook call people while you're walking around doing your day-to-day stuff, whether it be cooking, cleaning. The camera will follow you.
Interesting. And
For
terrifying.
Yeah, it's, well, you know, a lot of people use FaceTime and stuff.
Ah.
So it's like, right. It's like FaceTime, but
All right.
big and expensive. Actually, surprisingly cheap, but still, it costs quite a bit of money. Wish, I click on that. Timberland, I got a pair of Timberland boots. Absolutely. There's a couple in here that, like, I don't remember clicking on that, but I'm not going to deny it. I probably did.
Apparently, all of mine is RWBY. Amity Arena?
Sure.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either.
What is this? 86 people like this. What is this?
I don't know, but it defines
it's an
who
anime.
you are.
It's an anime, apparently. Well, that's getting deleted now.
Well, Facebook has decided that it defines who you are.
I don't
as a
think I've ever
person.
seen that show.
I would like to see people recreated with Facebook's idea of
It
them.
won't let me hide ads from RWBY.
Really?
Yeah, I'm trying
That's
to.
weird.
Well, we're moving on. I'll figure out.
All right,
later.
yeah, you'll just have to be spammed with ads for
My phone might end up in the bottom of
The next
like,
part's the
Lake
part that
Michigan.
kind of weirds me out. When you get to the next part, it says advertisers who uploaded a contact list with your info on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't even have to go past that point to be at least a little upset. You know what I mean?
Just look at how
Well,
much
the
is in here.
fact that anybody did that. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't realize that's something that goes on.
It looks like a
often.
small list. Hit the see all.
I know.
I've got like
I know.
150. Like
Yeah, it gives you like, I don't know, like 10 or 15 there. Maybe.
probably the most recent.
It
or
gives
something.
it gives you 10 there. It tells me I have over 140 of them. There's a little light gray button, easily not seen. Clever. You can click on see all. It's another drop down arrow. They love their drop downs.
Yeah.
Big on drop downs.
You know why?
AARP, of course.
You know why they like drop downs?
Why?
Harder for people to notice that it's an actual
True.
button.
Sometimes you got to click on the little tiny light gray arrow that's on the slightly lighter gray background. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Clever. But you know, these are people who they somehow got your information, whether it be your interests, contact info,
Pretty much anything.
any information you give them when you click the I agree box.
Yep. The
You know
I
what I mean?
agree box. And then they
a big
advertise your information.
The I
to
agree
other
box is another thing that we have just kind of grown accustomed to.
people. You just click it. You don't even read
When's the last
anything.
time you read the terms of service?
Exactly.
When Instagram tried to ruin us by not letting us have an Instagram account.
Oh, God.
We're not going to get into that.
Wait, did we get into that?
We got into that. We're not going to talk about it right now, but we're still working on that.
I don't even
If anyone has answers, I just want some answers. And that's really the whole point.
Instagram, this is a call out to you
Let's
to
see-
find out why.
Let's see where
we
it got my
did
info.
something.
It got my info from Bed Bath & Beyond is one of them.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've got, at least it's alphabetical.
Can't ask for more than that.
I mean, apparently all of these.
There's some things in here that are from so, like, I recognize them, but it's from so long ago because my account's very old.
I
You know what I
find, you know, after talking you guys through this so you can kind of see what we're seeing. If you read the top, these advertisers are running ads using a contact list they or their partner uploaded that includes info about you. How does
Each of-
Facebook know?
I don't know, did they buy it?
Exactly.
And again, I bet this is something that if we read the terms of service, we could figure it out. No one reads the terms of service.
I'm sure Facebook's not paying all these advertisements. Hey, tell us if you have this person's contact information.
Well, no, these people have to tell them they have it. Facebook doesn't reach out to Hot Topic. They're not like, hey, do you know any info on this Simon guy?
But that's what.
And they're like, yeah, he buys skinny jeans here. And they're like, oh,
Well,
that's it. He's gonna start getting some jean advertisements now.
but why are they reporting it to Facebook?
Exactly.
Why are they a
Even-
government now?
Facebook reaching out to these people?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think that's how it works. They must know that they have it.
But how? Like, it's not like a company's just going to share their advertisement information
I'm sure
with
that's
other
something
companies
that, like,
for free.
legally we have to be able to figure it out.
I'll do some research.
I guess, yeah.
I'll try to figure out why Facebook knows every advertiser that's ever uploaded my information.
Yeah. Again, some of these go way back. It's stuff. I've had a Facebook account for a really long time.
Maybe it's
like
because
I said.
it's tied to our email.
Well, I've had a Facebook account forever. I've just like hardly ever used it. So some of this stuff, it's like, yeah, that's right. I used to use that website or I used to use that app. But it was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But well, at least that means it keeps track of all of them.
True.
So hey, at least we're not hiding anything.
I'm gonna make a personal list now.
You're gonna make a list?
Actually, I'm just gonna go in and delete everything and see how much Facebook freaks out when it can't figure out what advertisement to give me.
Sure. There's a ton of stuff that you can browse in here too. There's advertisers that you visited before. Some of them I've definitely clicked on. Some of them I've never heard of before in my life.
Mine years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, to be fair,
did you already delete yours?
No, remember I never used Facebook.
That's true.
Like Facebook, the only time
I know that I have not clicked on some of these. I'm wondering if maybe it's ads from like other sources.
It could be accidental clicks. Now they have your information.
That's true. Look how many buzz feeds are
You didn't even have
here.
to agree to it. You literally accidentally clicked on it, and now Facebook's like, oh, well, they clicked on your stuff, so you must be interested. Here's his personal information.
Or like, I've got so many buzz feeds in here. That makes me think that whenever a BuzzFeed video pops up from like, this is BuzzFeed food, if one just shows up, it probably counts that.
Yeah, maybe.
Because they pay to have their video recommended, as most people do.
True.
That makes sense. Again, not anti-advertisement. That makes sense. I got nothing against BuzzFeed. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
They seem all right. But
I'm only slightly anti-advertisement, and it's because of things like 2 advertisements in the beginning of watching a video on YouTube. Come on now.
Come on.
Why do I have to watch 2
I'm trying to
advertisements? And now comments are blocked with advertisements. You have to exit out. You have to engage with the advertisement by hitting the X button, which is a type of engagement.
You know what that is?
Entrapment.
That's
what it feels
you
like.
are hindering people's ability to come together as a community around a video.
Without having to be
Without
advertised
having, you
something.
need to, even if you're just clicking the little X.
Yeah, without someone trying to sell me something. I can't go anywhere in the world.
Even if you're just closing it, you are forced to at least acknowledge the
its
ad.
existence.
You have to acknowledge it if you want to comment. I thought that was only for the duration of the advertisement in the beginning of the YouTube video. That is not always the case.
Nope. I have had it there the entire time until I've exited out. And I don't comment on YouTube, but I've just noticed.
I don't either, but sometimes I'll read a comment.
I mean,
So I've noticed.
well, I say I don't comment on YouTube's, but that's not true when it comes to people I know and I've watched for a really long time.
Sure.
I'll be like, hey, great video, that kind of stuff. Like, I'm saying I don't jump in the comments to talk to people in the comments a lot.
Yeah.
So mainly that's why I have to exit out of it, is because I'm usually giving the video guy, like, hey, props for a good video, that kind of thing.
That makes sense. I think that's really important. That's something that people need.
And I have to engage with the advertisements to do
Community
that now.
engagement.
Yeah.
I think community engagement is, it's why the internet is actually so important.
It's how YouTube started.
Yeah.
Like,
It's how what it once was. And now we're like, yeah, I know. I feel so.
now it's just the companies trying to sell
love
you something
YouTube.
from other companies.
Don't get me, I use YouTube a lot.
Yeah.
I do. I wasn't even that mad when they came out with the paid subscription thing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now I did not pay for that.
Oh, dude,
No, I'm not gonna buy it.
I haven't paid for it, so.
No, I'm not gonna. I don't know, but I'm not upset by it. Apparently, they've got like some movies and stuff on there that have done well. So they're doing the whole Netflix thing. They're doing the same thing Netflix or Hulu does.
Yeah.
But now that they made it so that we would not be able to prosper on YouTube with our content.
Well, see,
So that's personally.
Why
for
would
me,
they-
that's offensive. That's a real bummer.
yeah, it
More than
really is.
anything, it's just a real bummer.
That's where, like, why isn't it that you can pay a subscription to YouTube, and instead of being the way, basically trying to follow Netflix's footsteps and produce its own content, why not continue using the huge community behind YouTube who want to stay on YouTube for the convenience, the platform, and as a community, they love love that interaction.
Yeah.
And then set it up to where there is no free YouTube. You pay this much, kind of like Netflix, and it supports all the YouTubers. If you're a YouTuber who gets like...
Well, a lot of people got offended when they were trying to, the whole net neutrality thing.
Yeah.
They were trying to make it... That's basically what it was. I don't want to have to pay to go to YouTube because some people don't make any money off of their videos and they're not even trying.
Yeah.
And, but you constantly see posts, specifically, it seems like in the recent months, about YouTubers who suddenly are having to get funds elsewhere.
Patreon.
Secure Team.
Yeah.
He had a big post about that.
Yeah. I mean, I can't remember a time that one of the people I always subscribe to, one of the 30 plus channels I've subscribed to, I can't remember of a time that I didn't see a video on their feed saying, I'm sorry to ask you guys for some cash or, some help, but I can't do this for a living anymore because I've been demonetized or I've been, I'm not being recommended to anyone.
And this,
it's not based on views anymore. It's based on this. This algorithm is really confusing and there's no actual, definitive explanation on how you actually make money.
Sure. And YouTube has recently announced that it's no longer supporting conspiracy channels.
Yeah, we were talking about that. But
I have been following conspiracy channels for a long time, and they have told me that YouTube has not supported them for a long time.
Really?
Like Secure Team, he told us that way before we saw the post saying that YouTube was no longer supporting conspiracy channels.
See, I might have missed that episode. I jump between all my guys that I watch and stuff. So
sure.
I'm sure I probably saw it.
It was like when he started as patron.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
Or maybe it's GoFundMe. I don't remember which one.
One of the two.
They used, but that's a real shame that someone who is just, he tries to build a community, or they, again. Sorry, guys. I don't know
basically
if there's one of you or two of you.
He's doing his little dream, and he's doing his videos, and
he's doing what we're doing. That's awesome.
Yeah, I love his content. A lot of ways it inspired us to start the podcast because we talked about it all the time. Not just his channel,
not his channel, but all channels.
Yeah, all channels, all conspiracies. We just love that out of the box thinking of hey, sometimes it's not always what it looks like.
Yeah.
And then that caused us,
and now they're making
big channels like that caused us to really think, hey, maybe we can get out there. Maybe we're a small channel, but we can do it and actually enjoy doing it for other people.
Yeah, but YouTube has made it clear that they do not want their platform to be a platform for that to happen.
Yeah.
They don't, or at least not in conspiracy channels. But it's a shame because, we're not out to hurt anybody or anything. We're just out to have open discussions.
I'm not saying that so-and-so did this and this is why you should be mad at the government. That's not what I'm doing here.
Exactly. There's some people out there that do that, and I'm sure that's, again, I don't really know how I feel about that. That's not always wrong. It's not always right, but that's why it's happening.
Yeah.
Real shame. Real shame. YouTube. Part of Google. We're going to get right into Google here.
Oh, yeah.
That should be our next step.
Since we were talking to you about the Facebook one, we were talking about Google, too, and just the information gathering that's behind it. The big conspiracy of, the privatization of your information, I guess, for companies. Sure. I think that's the term it was used for. And it's basically companies hoarding your information and then selling it for profit to others to then try to sell you something.
Sure.
That's the big conspiracy.
You're more on top of this subject than me. So walk me through it here.
Walking you through it, it's going to come down to if you have Chrome on your thing. I don't think I've ever actually used the Samsung's internet provider because let's face it, I don't like Samsung's internet provider.
No, Chrome is obviously the best.
I mean,
if you guys are just sitting around doing nothing, or if you're listening to us on your phones, go ahead and pull out your phone and follow along with us. There's going to be some interesting stuff here.
So if you pull up your Chrome and,
home screen,
no matter what page you're at, if you're at your home screen, the three little dots on the top right, they're pretty straightforward. That gives you your...
Those dots hide everything.
I know. Your history, your incognito tab, bookmarks.
Yeah.
So where we're going to the history.
Of course.
And of course, this is where you've been.
This is where everybody feels wronged.
This is the naughty little secrets area.
Everyone has felt wronged. Christmas presents ruined.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, you have a general feed of what you've done. It'll be from today to whenever.
Everyone's familiar with that. Yeah. We've all been here.
The part that I'm going to is myactivity.google.com at the very top.
Again, barely a button.
Yep.
It is
just a little link.
Some extra fine font, and the link is a little blued.
Yep. And it's the interesting thing is if you've got several like emails attached to your one like email app on your phone or anything, or through Chrome, it gathers the information for all of those emails and anything that you're doing related to those emails.
Right.
So even if you're on your computer,
we use Gmail, so this might be different for some people.
Yeah.
But
I use
a lot of people use Chrome.
I use AOL. Okay. I have an AOL email on my PC. Don't judge me.
So it works for you too then.
Yeah.
You're logged into that email on Chrome?
On Chrome, on my computer, but because my Gmail account and my AOL account were attached to the same Chrome, it keeps track of both.
So you're even further separated than I am from it. And
I have a different email for like everything.
Okay, all right. Walk me through it here.
So once you open up that My Activities, you can obviously, you're probably looking at it right now. You see today, and if you scroll down ahead of us, that's fine. But you see the little things like Google.com, visited Google, details. They went to Chrome. Searched for so-and-so, details, image search, 27 more items.
Interesting.
You can basically click on these things.
The drop downs, again.
Yeah.
People are big on those drop downs. You got to click those sometimes because there's a lot in there.
You almost miss them. They're nice and organized. I can understand why a company might want a drop down because it's an organization, but it's also really deceptive on how much information is there.
But we have a joint email that we just use for our Facebook pages, so we have the same access to the same information at the same time.
Which oddly enough, now it's been keeping track of both of our phones.
Because we both have the same email.
NC squared. Obviously.
We can view activity to an extent from each other's phones. It's not like you can look at someone's history or something like that. But
I can see when he's activated his clock on his phone.
That's how when I open my clock to set my alarm at night, he can go in and see that.
I can see
it doesn't
when
update
he went to
immediately,
bed.
right? Sometimes there's a delay.
There's a small delay.
But he can actually. We have smart lights here in our studio for ambiance.
Which some people have these kind of lights set up at their home for actual like lights at their home.
Let's talk about that. If you have a smart hub in your house that controls all the lights, Wi-Fi activated lights, as these are, because some people just use them all over.
Yep.
Not just for these studio.
No, yeah, that's their home lights because they want the convenience of being able to go into one app and turn on all your lights before you get home.
Yeah, no, I like it. We enjoy using them here.
But
I use them in my home.
Because we share an account, or more specifically, if I had gained access to his actual email, I can then pair it with mine. Now, there's certain securities that are there to like notify him that I did it, but all that aside, there's always a way. I can actually see when he turns on his lights, different settings he uses for his lights, when he shuts them off.
Sure.
Just because it's all connected.
It'll show him when I open the app, that sort of thing. And it's just activities. I saw one on there when I was scrolling through. It said that my lights were activated. That means it wasn't just telling you that I clicked on my app to edit my colors or something like that. That is when I turn my light switch on and it sends power to them. It told you the point in time when that happened.
Yeah. So
again, there's a bit of a delay, but because of that,
I knew where you were in your house.
If I had a smart hub in my house, because
Alexa,
it
Google
told
Home.
you exactly, it told you the kind of I think it's called scenes, where you set up individual rooms with your lights. You can do the same thing. I only have them in the studio, but if I had them in my studio, in my living room, in my kitchen, they'd be named studio, living room, and kitchen.
For convenience.
For convenience.
To know which lights you're messing with.
We like shooting ourselves in the foot. So I go ahead and name it after the room it's in. It would have told you when I went to my kitchen, when I went to my living room, and when I went to my studio based on when I turned the lights on, assuming I turned my own lights off, which I do.
Yes, you do.
You know.
I mean, who doesn't?
People who are jerks, I guess. Turn your lights off. Jeez, do your part. But it would tell you. And if someone's following the same routine every day, if you could learn, like, because I come into my studio a lot, like after work or something like that. So you'd be able to go in and see, like, what times I'm normally in my studio, what times if I wake up and get, like, a midnight snack, it'll tell you that my light's activated at midnight.
It'll tell me when you turn on your phone.
I saw that because
When you
I use
click
an-
the little power button just to say, hey, I'm looking at the time or something on my phone, it tells me when it happens.
right, and you're on Samsung. I'm on an HTC, and HTC uses something called a Sense Home, which I believe is it's their Android skin. It's
Yeah.
HTC's operating
Yeah.
system, basically. And apparently, when I unlock my phone, that is considered an action that is needed to be shared with my
Google.
Gmail account,
Yeah, with
which is
Google.
linked to Google, which is linked to your email account, so you can see when I'm using my phone.
Well, not only that, but the company knows. Now it knows where you are.
Google knows.
Like when you go to the coffee shop and you're like, I just want to buy a $5 coffee. I don't want to be harassed at all.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it says, hey, leave a star rating on this place. Did you enjoy your thing? And then like all this stuff in it because it knows your location, obviously.
Right. Yeah,
And then once you
exactly. Yeah.
and then it wants you to fill out a survey sometimes, then it's just like, well, come on, man. Like
Come on now.
I was just there for like a $5 coffee, which is too expensive anyways.
Yeah, if I like, say I went to Starbucks, I'm guilty. I go to Starbucks every now and then.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to Starbucks like every day or something. People need to get a grip.
He goes to Starbucks about every other day.
No, I don't. I make my own coffee here. Okay. But anyhow,
That's true. That is true.
If I go to Starbucks every day, a lot of people opt to use their app, in which you either give it your card information or you somehow you load money onto your Starbucks app.
Yeah, somehow.
And then you pay with it at Starbucks. In return, they offer you points.
This point system. This might have to
People
be an
are big on
episode
that.
to
You
itself.
see, like Walmart does point systems and stuff now.
Everyone does. Kickback rewards, like
Exactly.
anything and
I
everything
needed to
that
give
can be a point
Starbucks
system.
information to use their point system. Right?
Of course.
You do with Walmart too. I
Yeah.
could go off on Walmart right now, but I'm not going to. But it'll tell you when I open my Starbucks app. You could, to a small extent, someone who vaguely has technology connected to my technology,
Yeah, vaguely.
vaguely.
Like this is not. I haven't given it permission to do anything.
No, we do not know each other's passwords. We don't use each other's phones or anything like that. We just have a joint email, if you could call it that.
That's
And
pretty much it.
to an extent, you could see my financial situation. You couldn't see how much money I had, but you could be like, oh, this dude goes to Starbucks every day.
I can see when you're like on mine. I can see when I activate my my bank account app.
Can you?
Yep. Now that's not on your feed because that's on mine.
Right.
Thankfully. Well, that's
Thankfully.
because I also blocked a lot of information and I told it to ignore certain apps,
Yeah.
which was difficult to find out how. And
it's
I
not-
don't even remember.
But
how.
it's not just stuff that happens on our joint email, because it's my app.
Yeah.
And the email that we use is not the main email I use for my phone. My phone
no.
is signed into my personal
Ni-
email.
Yeah, neither is mine.
So is the Google Play Store.
Yeah, my main
Gmail,
email is completely different than our NC. All NC Squared is tied into my email, so I can access the email part of it,
Exactly.
so that we can have fast response to you guys. That's it. But now I have full access to whatever he's doing on his phone, to a degree of like
You're lucky I'm tame.
I'd say about like 80% of what he does on his phone I can figure out just by clicking on
Some
stuff.
people would have a big problem with that. I don't have a reason to have a big problem with that.
I mean, it's me.
You know what? Like,
I'm not selling your information to
no.
Google.
And I mean, like, we're tame people.
Although.
So it's not weird, but it could be for some people.
Wonder how much your information is worth.
There's probably people out there now, like, going through their phone
Like, oh my god.
or like their significant other's phone, making sure that they can't see or
Well,
something like
the other
that.
thing is that when you first set up delete history, it will not delete like all your history. When you say like clear browser data, you
Yeah.
have to actually tell it to delete your myactivity.google. If you don't
Really?
specify that, the myactivity
So that's
Google,
a different sort of.
yes,
Yeah.
it's that's Google's tracking of
You
your information.
used to be able to tell it to delete your history every so often.
Yeah, which I do
Can
because
you
I like
do
to
that
free up
with
the
the
cache.
activity?
You can to a degree.
To a degree.
So, like, if I go to my activity and I delete everything right now, which I will do because fun and all that. So, if I go in there at the top right, you'll see this little, so you'll see if you're still in the my activity, those little 3 dots up there at the top of the page again, not the ones that you would actually change pages with or anything, but
Right.
the one right below that. You say delete activity by. Then you can go in and you have to specify because it'll just delete today's activity if you just say, hey, delete this if you're not paying attention to it. You have to go to all time if you want it all to be gone. Then it gives you a little delete all your activity question mark. Like, dear God,
Are
Brian,
you sure?
is this what you want to do? Do you understand what we give you for this information?
I don't.
And then I deleted it.
I don't understand, actually.
Now, if you back out,
all right,
now if you back out of deleting that, you go up to your history. Look at that. Your browser history is still there because the Google My Activity is separate from your phone's actual history.
Weird.
So you have to delete both unless you click this little checkbox in the history where it says browsing history. It says browser history at myactivity.google as well.
Yeah.
And you have to check that because I don't think it comes standard like that.
I just don't get why it would be like that. You know what I mean?
Because
why do they got to keep them separate?
Yeah.
Why can you not just go in?
Well, because Samsung phone, Google app.
That makes sense.
So Samsung wants my information.
It's running Android,
Google wants
though,
my
and
information.
Android, if I'm not mistaken,
Was bought out by Google.
Bought out by Google.
I loved Android when it first came out. But it comes down to
Still
where
there.
Samsung's collecting my information as well as Google. So I have to tell both of them,
you have
hey, you delete my information real quick.
right. You have Bixby,
Oh, God, yeah.
which is Samsung's.
Which, funny story. For anyone out there who's like, oh, people are crazy thinking that, like, devices are listening to them all the time. I will tell you a quick story. Bixby, before I learned how to completely, like, disable it from listening to me, which I'm still not 100% sure it's not listening to me, but it will no longer respond to me. It will no longer confuse a conversation
Still listens,
as
but
me
does
trying
not
to
respond.
Yeah. So it no longer confuses me trying to activate it now. That's it. It still listens, but that's what the deactivation of it is.
Of course.
So me and my girlfriend went on a keto diet. Was it the keto diet? Oh no, I was talking with
diet.
No, it was a 30-day like
Oh no, you said you guys were discussing, just talking about.
well,
the
we
keto
were on
diet.
a diet, but I was telling her about the keto diet.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Now, mind you, I was on the keto diet a long time ago. This was before like a lot of the like new stuff has come about. But
Bixby and
I already
Google
knew.
Assistant.
Yeah, I already knew about the keto diet, and it wasn't through the internet or anything. It was actually a buddy told me and gave me a book. But long story short, I was talking with her about wanting to do the keto diet because it would be fun and like it's an interesting way to change your body. I never Google searched it. I never referenced it. I never did anything with my phone or computer. Nothing. Like zilch. I already knew about
This
it.
is
I didn't.
audible conversation between two humans exclusively.
So like 100% just me and my girlfriend sitting at, dining room table eating dinner. The next day I was getting spammed about once an hour through my AOL account for keto diet. Hey, try this keto diet. Sign up with us. Pay us this much a month and we'll send you the food. This, and different companies trying to advertise a keto diet to me. And again, I didn't research it. I didn't type it into my phone. I didn't do anything along those lines. It was literally about a 5 to 10 minute conversation with my girlfriend about it. The next day, I started receiving a plethora of ads about how I should start the keto diet
Right. Yeah.
for no reason.
Sure.
Other than the fact that Bixby was listening to my conversation
that point,
and picked up on a keyword.
Something happened at that point.
Oh, it picked up on a keyword, which was keto.
And
it
you
heard
have yours disabled.
I do.
Yes.
It should not be responding or listening to me.
But
because I did. Yeah, exactly. Because I was speaking and it has to listen because it doesn't know not to listen. That's how it's
your
programmed. Yeah.
So there was a faulty security somewhere.
Somewhere.
You would have to assume.
I have to
Either
assume.
faulty security or Samsung, whoever
Whoever it is. Bixby's
handles
Samsung,
that,
I believe.
has it up for sale. Selling customer lists and, user info is not an uncommon thing and not even necessarily an illegal thing.
Yeah.
You agree. That little checkbox.
Yep.
We were talking about that. People just click on that.
Little checkbox saying I agree to your terms and conditions without reading anything.
Yeah. I mean, oftentimes there's a paragraph that leads up to that. And then at the end, I don't even read the paragraph most of the time. Then at the end, there's a read more button that brings you to like a document longer than most people would ever read.
Oh, yeah. And it's in
happens all
such
the
a
time.
convoluted lawyer speak kind of way, too.
Sure. Yeah.
This person, upon reading this, hereby states
right.
that this person over here is
Yeah.
not their brother. or something.
Sure, something like that. It's pretty ridiculous.
It's pretty crazy stuff.
We were talking you said Bixby.
Yeah.
I have Google Assistant. Alexa's a big one, which is a little weird to me because Amazon is a shopping website.
Yeah, shopping website.
But Amazon's got their own, and I don't really have anything against the home assistants. The smart home assistants is like, it's a really progressive way for technology to move. It is a convenience thing, and we've said it a couple times. Convenience is big.
Yeah, definitely. I understand that convenience is a big thing, and I think that's the balance we're always kind of like in today's society kind of dealing with is convenience over privacy.
And again, I think like a lot of people probably don't even pay attention to the privacy part. I probably don't pay as much attention to it as I should, because I do use those things, and it might not be as big of a deal as we make of it. But
and see, I don't have anything to hide, but privacy to me is important. I guess
it's personal.
It's
keep it personal. The internet is so not personal.
And if I want your product, I will search you out, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. I want to come across it on my own.
Exactly.
Or at least, at the very least, make sure that the ads aren't misrepresenting, like we've talked about.
That's
they not always are, but it seems like a lot of times now they are.
Yeah, or like you said, low production and like just shotgun blast scammer style to just get you to click on it. And,
that's right.
And get your information.
Right. We have that speaker at work that.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember what the speaker is, and again, we're not like calling out companies individually or something, but it has the Google Home Assistant on it. And we listen to iHeartRadio, Pandora, various things just for music at work.
All through my iTunes.
Through your iTunes?
Yep.
Okay.
My iTunes is hooked up to the phone that we're using on that speaker at work.
Okay. So on your iTunes, we listen to it, and then over time, eventually, since we talk about the podcast, and we've been planning it for a while, we've been talking about it.
A few months at least.
Suddenly we start getting advertisements for podcasts.
All the time.
I heard one the other day for a podcast hosting service, like for the RSS feed and stuff like that. And I've heard other ones that are just straight up advertisements for people's podcasts.
Yeah, or different platforms you can use.
We got one from iHeartMedia that was like... or iHeartRadio.
Yeah.
One from iHeartRadio that was just like telling us that they had podcasts.
They do a podcast, and if we wanted to do a podcast, we could check them out.
Exactly. So it was just kind of funny because we were talking about it, and it gave us ads for it.
Yeah, same thing.
Not really upset, but it, you know what I mean.
What people are, I think, is what I'm concerned with is the fact that we didn't ask for that service. I didn't specifically sign up for it.
Right.
But it's listening. It gathers that information. Then it advertises what it thinks I might be interested in. And that's what kind of bugs me in the convenience department of that is that I didn't ask for it.
Sure.
And it's just, it comes down to where it makes me almost not want to do any of it.
Yeah, I know. I get that feeling too, but we all kind of...
have to.
You kind of have to. And it's gotten to a point like where if companies are doing this, it's like a global information gathering sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's gotten to everyone has Facebook, something like that. We individually have these things, and also we have the Conspiracy Podcast.
Yeah.
And that has its own, and all of it has its own set of advertisements that people get. It gets different information from different pages.
Don't worry, I get it. Money around the world kind of thing. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You gotta make money to, do this, and you gotta spend money to do this. So.
You know what I mean? It's the information gathering.
Yeah, that's under the surface.
Ads are revenue.
Yeah, under the surface of all that convenience of advertising, things we like, information it's getting. There's also this huge profile list of who has access to it. It's not just one company, as we saw with the Facebook. That was 150 different companies had all of my information.
Yeah, 150.
And they're sharing it amongst each other. And that goes
Weird.
on. Yeah. And it
gets kind of vague past that point.
Yeah, past that point, you can't really figure
I think
out.
You can click the drop down and you can go to like details. But again, everything gets really vague after that, or they just don't give you much information.
Or like I clicked on one and it went to Google Play store and then it said retry. It didn't even find the connection. So
failed.
But another one is, since we've been talking so much about social media and Google and Facebook and all those big ones, another one that really bugs me that I get all the time is when I'm shopping at stores.
Yeah.
Like, there's a couple stores in my local area where I go in and I buy like a piece of clothing.
Yeah.
And for their return policy, they want my name, phone number, email address, all this information.
I've had that before.
For no reason other than they're selling it. They're keeping it on hand, and either they sell it off or they use it as a contact list for their own advertising.
I think they're selling.
I think they're selling it.
You mean like the store next door I worked the other day was doing zip code gathering.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's a big one. I understand zip code gathering. They get a general demographic on where you are.
How far is their reach?
How far are people coming to shop
You can graph
specifically
that
with
out,
us?
and it's helpful.
Yeah,
business-wise.
They didn't ask me my name or
I
anything.
think Grocery Outlet was actually in my list of information providers.
Ah, see, that's
They have
funny.
Facebook pages too, and I may or may not follow one of them. I'm not sure.
The Burlington was one that did it to me.
Really?
All I wanted to do was buy a pair of tennis shoes so I could go running again. And they wanted like all this information. And luckily the employee was okay with me saying, no, I'm not going to return it. I don't care. Like, I walked out the door. But I think it was Payless. When I was trying to purchase shoes from them, they got flustered, and wouldn't accept no to like a phone number, name, or email address.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, like
he had to get his manager.
he had to get his manager over.
Oh my goodness!
Because the employee didn't understand how to proceed with the sale without having that information. My email address, my
Didn't
phone
even
number.
train him how to not take.
No. The system wouldn't let him sell it.
Okay, yeah.
The system wouldn't let him sell it without putting something in as an address.
That's wrong.
Yeah, as my physical address, it wouldn't. So like the manager came over.
Of that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why would you need that? But you can substitute it with anything else, like not private information.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. A hair salon did the same thing. She literally couldn't actually do anything with. I came in for a walk-in appointment. I don't want advertising. I was in Ohio, so I was several states away. I'm there visiting a friend. I'm not going to be living there, and she couldn't get me an appointment without getting my address. And I told her I live out of state, so it wouldn't matter. Well, we'll take it anyways. And
I bet you would.
That's what she said to me. And I was like, no, you won't.
No.
I was like, I just want my haircut. It's $12 for my haircut. I don't care. You can know my first name.
It's a place you'll never.
Yeah, I'll never shop again.
Oh my gosh.
But they wanted my address and my email. Why? You don't even.
Add you to the email list.
The salon I was going to, I know for a fact, doesn't have any where I live. Like it was a separate one that has no bearing on my state that I'm living in.
That's ridiculous.
But they wanted the information anyways.
They needed it.
Yeah,
actually.
And same thing happened there. She had to put in a fake address for me.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't accept her store address.
Well, I've seen people do that.
It has to be a
so they've caught
residential.
on that's common.
Yeah, and it has to be a residential address.
Interesting.
I wonder if that's like a Google thing
So,
where they can.
I remember around the time I started getting those questions at stores, and people would just put in the address or they would just skip it or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. But over time, it has proven it's not useful enough unless they actually get everybody's actual address.
Yep.
Or actual zip code.
Yeah.
Phone number, email, anything like that. So it was worth it to them to make a big push and choose that you cannot even make the sale without having that person's information. It's very important to them.
Yeah.
It must be, because you know that that's going to upset people. Some people are going to get upset by that, but they think that it is worth it to upset the customer to make sure that you have their email address.
Yep.
That why? You know
Well,
what
I mean, not many people use email
got a lot
the
of
way
weight
it
to it.
used to be used.
That's true.
That's the big thing. But
'Cause
I
you-
still use email. But
do you ever
constantly.
go to the spam folder in your email?
I don't even have to. My normal AOL email, I hadn't checked for years. I hadn't deleted it. I went to AOL.com, to actually get in there and delete them all out.
Yeah.
I had 2,487 emails.
Really?
That was earlier today.
I have a Yahoo for that I have not known the password to for over 5 years at least.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
I don't even know what's in there. It's not good. But I go to my spam folder sometimes on my Gmail because it filters all the spam so I don't have to see it, right? Which is convenient. But I got a spam folder that's got 3,000 pieces of email in it, various insurance companies, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
You can just scroll through and you can see the kind of companies that are sending you stuff.
Yeah.
Someone got my insurance information because I get so many insurance advertisements.
So they're just trying to say, hey, we can give you a better price on that.
Yeah, I was browsing for good insurance providers online. And so still to this day, like 5 years, maybe more later, I'm still getting.
Imagine, I mean, I know it's a lot
emails.
of just server systems sending out just like, blatantly
Computers
like
are
normal.
people too.
Fair enough. Lizard people.
Lizards are people too, apparently.
But it's just, you got to think how much cost. I mean, is it really balancing out? Like, that's my big.
Sure.
I'd love to just know numbers.
I mean, it's got to be fractions of a penny to, send someone an email.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know
the
what I
server
mean?
system,
That's what
cooling
I'm
system,
saying. Like, if you took
electricity
all
to run
the
it.
cost and divided it by how many people are getting the emails, how many of those people does it just go into their spam folder anyhow?
True.
What a waste of money.
Exactly.
But it's still that important to them?
It is.
Well, if they're selling it to other companies,
Exactly. It's
that's
just,
straight money.
it's like debt. They're just selling debt to other companies. They're like, hey, we know we owe you $1.2 million. Here's a $16 million list of people.
Here's a bunch of people's information that you can potentially reach with targeted
And
ads.
you can buy it at the low price of
Again, you are
1.6.
advertising information to people so that they can advertise their own products.
That's the big circle here.
It all comes back around.
Paid-
Because you can't get away from it.
No.
You need
I mean,
it. It's just the kind of world we live in.
That was probably the purest form earlier when we were talking about our podcast. Is we paid someone to advertise our website to people who then try to get us to pay them to advertise it.
It's beautiful.
It's amazing.
It's money.
It's a network in itself.
But here we are still. We have Facebook and these things.
Yep. Well, you have to get into contact with people. That's the big thing.
Yeah,
is
you do.
We want feedback from our viewers,
trying
our
to get a
listeners.
community here.
Like, we want people to think outside the box, talk with us, and you have to have them. Again,
Yeah, that's right.
I mean,
You depend on other people.
by the way, you can email us at NC2 Conspiracy Podcast.
No, NC2 Conspiracy
at
gmail.com.
gmail.com.
That's
If you're not all about the social media stuff, we
Right.
still operate off normal email.
That's true. But you can find us at NC2 Conspiracy Podcast on Facebook.
See.
Maybe Instagram one day, on Twitter right now. And if you wanted to support us, you could find us on Patreon.
And I'm sure we can put some of those links down there for you so that if you wanted easier access.
Yeah, we'll put links below for all of that. We also have a GoFundMe
Yep.
that we're trying to update if you want to get
Yeah,
some
big
more
kudos on
content from
the
us.
donation there. That helped us out a lot.
That's right. We have a couple people, actually. We have on Patreon, we have people who have been donating money to us, and it is covering our RSS hosting fees that we have to pay monthly. Those are getting covered. It's also covering us, it's covering our beer, which
Yeah.
is great, and it's covering our pizza, which is more than we could ever dream for. So everything's just been going really good so far, and we're excited to finally have some content out. There's a couple of people. Actually, first off, everybody who's donating.
Thank you very much.
That's a big deal. But there are a couple people out there that just went above and beyond for us. They're in our top tier of donating, giving us $10 a month, which is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
You want to read off those names there?
Yeah, basically we got two for this episode. We have Chloe and Wyatt. Big shout out to you guys and a lot of thanks, honestly. Like, it
You guys
means
are
the world.
you're paying for this to happen. It's really cool.
It means the world to us too. Like, we didn't even have any content out, and you guys were already super supportive. And we want to hear back from you. Let us know how you think they're going. Any
feedback?
Yeah, any feedback is much appreciated. Constructive criticism or just a hey, big thanks to the episode kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Shoot us a message.
any of it's really helpful for us.
Any of it. If any of you missed it, we have an introduction episode where we kind of briefly and vaguely go over what the show is about. Kind of go in depth a little bit about what we do here and what we're hoping to do in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So if you missed that, go ahead and go back, give that a listen if you just want to know more about what's going on.
Yeah, there's a little bit of information on the equipment we're using and just a little bit of things like that. Some stuff we won't really cover in later episodes as much, but
Right.
unless it's a request. Like if it's a big thing where we get a lot of community wants to hit up on more of that information, we will.
That's right.
But I think Simon had a thought there, but it kind of teetered off for a second.
It escaped me.
So I think we'll call it here.
Yeah, we're going to wrap her up here. If anybody could leave us a review.
Yes, that's the biggest thing.
We've probably said it a couple times now, and we're going to burn it into your brains. We're trying to make the iTunes new and noteworthy list.
New and noteworthy would get us out to people who might be super interested in what we're doing.
Community fast.
Yeah, exactly.
And from what I understand, you get that from people leaving true reviews. Don't just leave us a 5-star review unless you really think that we got it. Like, if you think it was bad, tell us it was bad.
Yeah.
If you could share it, that'd be awesome. More downloads, the better.
Besides any of that bad review, we'll figure out where it went wrong and if we can improve on it. So,
that's right. Again, thanks to all of our supporters.
Much thanks.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for tuning in, and for sure.
We'll see you on the next episode.
All right. Bye.